Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording now. Welcome, everybody. So I'm Julian, and I'll be co-hosting this first. Yeah, do you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll be co-hosting this first community meetup with Yanis, just on my left side, I think on the screen. I'll introduce him a bit later. So thank you for joining. It's our first community meetup, so it will be a first try for now. So we hope to get you interested today. I'm going to share my screen right now. Let's go ahead. Screen. Here I go. Okay, you should see my screen at the moment. Yanis, can you confirm?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So topics for today. Today we will try to fit this into a 30-minute session. So we want to keep it nice and quick for you guys. So a few words to start with, just to explain why we have created the Ryax platform and what problems that we solve. Then Yanis will jump into the demo, and we have reserved a little time at the end for a little chat if you have questions, discussions. So what you can do if you have any question that pops up during the demo, during the presentation, you can just write to us in the chat, and we'll answer all the questions at the end of the session. Let me just check because I don't see the waiting room right now. Okay, I'm just opening, but just making sure I can see if anybody's waiting in the lobby. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to start very quickly. So why Ryax? So we are a full development team, and we are deep into backend projects. That's our jobs. That's the project that we do every day. So we have identified a lot of different challenges on this backend projects, being first-handed actors on these projects ourselves. The first thing is backends are very complex. We know that when you want to build a full backend system, you will have to master tens of different tools, and it's very, very hard. The learning curve is pretty tough. Deployment backend wise is also pretty hard. You need to make sure that it's secure, that it's reliable, and it runs in production very, very, very tidily. So it's something that it's really not easy. If you've been developing backends for a while, this is something that you probably also know. Maintenance is also a big issue because once you've got your backend deployed and running, you've got to make sure that you don't have any bug in the legacy, and you need to ensure that everything can be updated regularly and quickly. So that's one thing. The second thing that we've identified, and that's even more prominent now, is that we are seeing a lack of backend development talents on the market. I think I've read somewhere that within 8 years we expect to be lacking like 85 million developers worldwide. So it's something that's a real problem. We sometimes cannot find enough talents for certain projects. So it's something that's really concerning. The last thing is about infrastructure. Infrastructure is also a big challenge when it comes to backend projects. You need to be able to, at the same time, handle infrastructure scalability so that your backend system can handle peaks and downsides in terms of resources, and you have to handle this while keeping costs at a minimum. So that's really a big challenge as well. So that's why we have starting building a new app, a new platform. So we call this platform the open source local platform to build backends in record time. So what we are doing with this platform is a backend builder. So our team is almost fully composed of developers. So these developers have made this platform for other developers. What we do basically is we enable developers to build, run, and maintain backend systems. So I'm just going to be opening for a new participant now. Okay, he's joining through a workflow paradigm. So Yanis will be showing you that in a minute. So I'm going to jump quickly on this with full API capabilities and a ready-to-use set of integrations, so you can already assemble your backend bricks together. The second pillar of our platform is that it's low code. So what we mean by low code, because there may be different definitions, is that we feature a no code UI that you can use in a pure configuration way, which means that you don't have to use code to build the first bricks of your backend. But this UI comes also with custom code abilities so that you can extend your backend's abilities with your own custom code or code that comes from somewhere else. And we also feature a full control CLI, so you can maintain this high level of control over the backend system that you built with Ryax. This third thing is more related to the infrastructure and the scalability that we've talked about earlier. We've developed our platform with a serverless paradigm in mind. So Yanis will be able to tell you more about that, but we've developed a kind of a hybrid serverless system within Ryax, which enables us to be really agile, developing microservices very quickly, very light microservices, while still being able to run more intense machine learning models, for example. So this is a bit of a hybrid system, but it enables us to be quite scalable while still being able to run heavy things. So yeah, if you have questions about this, we can answer them maybe later. And the last thing is open source. So this is something that we deeply care about. This is our first open source product. All of our projects are not open source, but this is one of them. So we strongly believe in open source. Most of the people in our team are involved in open source projects. We use a lot of open source solutions in-house, so that's really something that we care about. And given all the challenges that we've talked about earlier, we really think that open source is the way to tackle these very complex challenges because of the way the community can drive innovations in our products, the way that the community can really drive the features and where we want to go. So we are open sourcing this platform for these reasons and for all the benefits that come with open sourcing. So very quickly before the demo, we've thought about 3 different kinds of profiles for this product. So we are helping, the Ryax platform will help expert backend developers to save time, probably mainly around the generic or reusable bricks that they will be able to use to build their backend systems instead of recoding or starting from scratch for the most generic and common bricks. So they will be able to go very fast at the beginning of a project on this common bricks, and then move further with their own code later on with the custom code abilities of the platform. The second profile we can help is the junior backend developers as well. They will have the opportunity to build first stages of full-fledged backend systems with ready-to-use bricks and configurable bricks, and then also add their custom code. And the last profile that we've identified are the let's say the rest of the developers that still tackle backend systems but don't necessarily have this as their main occupation. So front-end developers or full-stack developers. And the goal for these profiles are to allow them to work with backend systems because they may not necessarily have the skill set before to actually implement backend systems. So these are the three different profiles that we think we are helping with the platform. So I'm going very quickly here. I think we can jump right into the demo. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat, please. So as we said, this is our first community event. We are planning to host one every 3 months, so it will be one per quarter. The point is to allow our users and potential contributors to have a say in the platform's roadmap and to hear back from the community regularly. So in this spirit, we'll do a very, very simple demo for now, and in the next community meetings, we'll jump into more details. So the demo Yanis will show you is a first brick, let's say, around what we can provide. So Yanis is a PhD in resource management and scheduling and high performance computing. So scalability again is one of his good topics of discussion. He's a chief technological officer at Ryax Technologies, and so he'll be showing you our new platform now. So I think Yanis, I can.
Perfect. Thank you, Julian. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we do.
Let me see. Can you see what I'm sharing here?
Yeah.
Perfect.
See the dashboard. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so based on what Julian just said, I'm going to provide you a demo of Ryax. It will be a pretty high level, let's say. For now, we are not going to go in all the details, or we are not going to do some complex, let's say, applications here. But I want to stand out on something that Julian said, that we try to facilitate developers. On one side, developers that are experts. A lot of times they have tasks that need to be done and redone all the times for different projects. These things can be much simplified and can be done much faster by using systems such as low-code platforms like Ryax, and that's where we are going to see. There are things within an application logic that you may use and reuse a lot of times. Okay, so here I'm going to talk about a particular, let's say, automation, I can call it, that would allow us to go through some of the functionalities of Ryax. So once we log in the platform, we arrive within the landing page here where we see the workflow. So workflows is the basic, let's say, the basic way to define a part of the application logic. Okay, you can see it like that. So I am going to go through some of the functionalities here, and basically I clicked on one of the workflows, one of the, let's say, application logic that I want to show you, and what I see here, I see a canvas where I can go and edit a specific workflow. Now, a workflow is composed by actions. Okay, the different actions. I'm going to explain afterwards how these are treated, but in general, they are going to provide a part of the application logic that is important for what we want to do. Okay, in our example here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an example where we can have an S3 bucket, so AWS storage solution where we can have a particular, let's say, place to take some files or to store files. And we can imagine that we have this this bucket here with a specific folder, and at some point we have an automation that whenever there are specific files that are discovered within a particular folder, we start a particular let's say analysis that is going to based on some logic is going to store a particular file is going to do the analysis and store a particular file within a database. Okay. Now let me go through on how we entered a new action here. So the first action that we have created is how we trigger the execution based on new files that arrive within S3. The second one is the analysis of the files. In our example here, we are talking about JSON files. And now I'm going to insert one more action related to once we finalize the analysis of the JSON, I'm going to tell you how the logic is. Once we finalize, we provide a CSV that we want to let's say store in a MariaDB database. Okay, so the process of adding a database may be pretty complicated, and if you have to repeat it a lot of times, it becomes it can become time consuming. Whereas you can just use already prepared components such as the particular action here, and afterwards come and configure the different fields that you need. Okay, so in our example, I'm not going to configure the previous actions. I have already configured them, to go a little bit faster, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to configure this action. So I have the database. I provide the database name here, the username. I'm going to copy the particular password here. Give me a second. Okay. So I put the password here. This is the address where the particular service, so the MariaDB services can be found. The port, and here we have the table where we are storing the data. And here is the file that we inherit from the previous action. Okay, and we can find it here. Okay, so basically this allows me to configure the particular component. As I said, each component needs to be configured. It's important to mention here that each of these actions, as we call them within Ryax, is packaged and deployed internally by the system as a Docker file, and is deployed upon a Kubernetes cluster, which can be, we are completely agnostic on different clouds. So this can be either on Azure, on Google, AWS, etc., or on premises. Okay, as you will see, we'll go perhaps afterwards through really fast on how we can install on the documentation that we have available on how to install, and you'll see that there is a procedure that you can install, that you can install it even on your local, let's say, Kubernetes deployment. Okay, but here it's important to mention that each action here in the end is going to be packaged and deployed as a pod upon Kubernetes. Now, the thing here, which is interesting, is, as Julian also mentioned, we are based on serverless. We take the serverless paradigm a little bit forward, and we can adapt upon a hybrid model where we can have either microservices that are deployed longer, or even serverless functions which can be used in the case of, you know, if we want a fast deployment. We do not need to have the resources occupied all the time. Yeah. Okay, now let me, yeah, before I deploy, so let me deploy here. While this is deploying here, and as I said, the deployment means that the first pod is going to be deployed, and then they will wait for the execution, so that we can have the complete execution. Now, what I want to show you here is that once the workflow is deployed, to be able to trigger the execution, we need to upload files within the particular folder here. Okay, and the files that we are going to upload are, you know, simple JSON files with some parameters here, and then once these are uploaded, we are going to make a comparison with, let's say, a threshold. This is another file where we have the ranges of minimum and maximum values in order to have some comparisons and some, you know, simple analysis, just to show, you know, that the thing is actually working in the backend. Okay, so let me deploy here some files. Okay, upload. Now the thing is that here this is deployed. Now it has started the execution. Now the thing is that the triggering will take place once the files are there, and once we and once this is done, then the analysis is going to take place. Within the analysis, we do the comparison that I mentioned with the ranges. Okay, and at the end of this analysis, we create a CSV file based on the fact that, you know, some files may be valid because they will be within the thresholds. Some other files, like this one, is within the threshold, whereas this one, we can see here that it is beyond the threshold. It is above the maximum value. So this is going to be stored within the different folder that we have here. Okay, so we have the folder for the error files and the folder for the done files. Okay, the ones that are done are going to be inserted then within the database. Okay, and this will allow us to see that the whole logic is taking place. Okay, so now the thing is executing, and we can also follow here and see the logs that are taking place. Okay, so this, as I said before, this is an execution taking place upon a Kubernetes cluster. So it is we are doing the monitoring of these executions, and this is something that you can find directly within the user interface here. Okay, and now if we go back here, we can see that the execution now is completed, and we can see in the logs that we have inserted. So one of the two files had managed to pass, and we have inserted the files within the database. Now, what if we wanted to, let's say, have a custom code that we want to insert here? And let's say that what we wanted to do is, you know, at the end of this process, we want to upload this CSV file instead of the, you know, after the database, we want to upload it again on S3. Okay, so what we need to do here is we can edit this this workflow, and we can come and insert one more action here, okay? So before I insert the action here, let me also go a little bit more in detail on how we can enter new code within the Ryax platform. Okay, this is important to mention here. So we have an integration with Git, okay, that allows us to enter a valid GitLab or GitHub repository, and based on that, you know, give a username and password. I'm not going to do it now because we already have it, and come and scan the repository in order to find eligible codes that can run within the Ryax function, within the Ryax platform. Okay, and this is something that we have done already for these modules, for example, for these actions. Yeah. And what exactly I want to show you here is an example of a code that would allow us to do exactly that, exactly the thing that I mentioned before, the upload of a file to S3. Okay, this is a common process that you know, I suppose people that using the cloud, you know, they are doing a lot. So it would be much faster if we had the component to do it. Yeah. And that's what we are doing here. So now to have this code eligible for Ryax, we need to have this YAML metadata file, where besides some typical, let's say, initial stuff, such as the ID, human name, the type of programming language that we are using, and the version of the particular action, we need to have the inputs and the outputs, okay? Because this is what is going to allow us to do the connection with the other modules. Yeah, this is important to understand directly, you know, from the beginning. Now, this is the general, let's say, description of the logic of this particular action, and then we have the other file is the requirements.txt, which allow us to give the dependencies of the particular action, because as I said, we built this as a Docker file with our internal tools. If you go through the code, you will see it's not as easy as that. But anyway, we are not going to enter into all the details now. But we use this file to build, let's say, the Docker that is going to be deployed. And finally is the code itself. Okay. So the code itself, of course, you know, we need to use this dependency, as we said, and then we come here and we manipulate the inputs in a way that you know, we can provide the logic that we need. In this case, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so having these three files makes the code eligible to be executed within Ryax. And this is what we see here. And eventually, you know, we can come here and build the module, build the particular action. And once this is built, we can have it within the repository, where, you know, we can see here we abstract the complexity, let's say, of the code for those that, you know, let's say, do not need to go into this detail. And what we have is an amount of inputs and outputs that can be used to be connected to any type of actions and to create, you know, different application logics. Yeah. And so this is what we have. Once this is, you know, once this is built within the module store, then we can have it within our repository here. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it here. And now I'm going to configure it with the rest of the components. Okay, so I'm going to take the CSV file from the previous, we inherit from the previous actions. Let me also add here the AWS key. Okay, so this is something that you need to do by hand for the configuration part. Okay. Here we are going to give the bucket name, and here we can have a timestamp so that we can know what time this was done. Okay, so I can deploy this. Okay, and this is something that we need to trigger as before. We need to trigger by uploading some files here. Again, let me upload 1, 2, and 3, for example. Okay, and this is going to trigger our workflow here, and we will see within the runs the execution has started. Okay, and we have the different modules that take place one after the other. And in the end, we are going to have the upload of the file to AWS. Yeah, this one doesn't have any logs. We see here the logs, and if we go back normally, we will see within the Ryax demos, we have a new file that has appeared. Yeah, so this means that I'm too late for my demo. Okay, sorry, it took a little bit longer. So that's more or less what I wanted to show you. You know, this simple workflow, which we manage, you know, to update. We also show how we can, as a developer, you know, bring our code to be eligible. You know, we can follow, these are open source actions you can find online. You can follow the different files, the different structures here to create your own logic of components, you know, and then come back within the canvas of workflow creation, of application logic creation, and create your own workflows. It's important to mention also that there are a lot of integrations that we are currently working, and there are more to come in the close future. As you said, as you've seen, you know, there are already some, but there are more, such as, you know, things such as databases, particular cloud services, specific big data, or machine learning, AI frameworks. These are things that you know, we have already worked with, and there are already things available, but more things are to come. Before I finish, let me just, and I will take any questions you have. Let me just go through fast, you know, the code is open source within GitHub, and then, you know, it is directly connected with our GitLab account, where the code is there. If you need to do any merge request or create any issues, you can go directly within the GitLab account, okay, which is also given, but you just need, you know, to go through the documentation and try the installation on a local machine or existing Kubernetes cluster. You know, you can find all the details here. We are open to feedback, and whatever you know, improvement or feature request you may have, you know, we would be glad to exchange with you either on chat or Discord or by email, whatever you prefer. So that's what I had on my side. I would be very happy to answer to any questions you may have.
Yes, thank you, Yanis. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself. We can take oral questions for sure, or write in the chat. I just share. Yeah. Sorry, Yanis, I removed your screen.
No problem.
While we're waiting for questions, I just wanted to share. So if you want to keep the discussion going and you have several ways to keep in touch, you can check out our GitHub project. It's right at this URL. You can also join our Discord server if you want. It's a 24/7 hotline with us and with our community. So it's always nice to be part of the Discord. Maybe wait. Yeah, if you. I don't know if there's any. I don't see any question right now. I think we are probably 6 or 7 minutes past the time that we've set.
Yeah.
So well, if there's no question, you can always ask them on the Discord server if they pop up later. So
yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for attending. The next one will be in about 3 months probably. And thank you, Yanis, for the demo.
Thank you very much.
And keep in touch. We'll send you the Discord server link and the GitHub link on your emails because you've subscribed to the event, and we'll send you the record as well, the recording. And that's it.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. See you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.